Hi, this is Wani at CDWanny on YouTube, and if you like humorous stories and adventures told in story form, you're absolutely at the right place. Today's story takes place. It takes place in my junior high school, but it's one of those stories where the forces of the universe, under against incredible odds, just all come together in some phenomenal way. But before we get into the story, I got to give you my pitch. So if you like this channel, be sure and hit the subscribe button. Give that little thumbs up, a little tickle there, and hit the like button. If you want to be alerted when more stories are coming up, be sure and hit the bell. So anyway, we're going to get into our story now. So anyway, this story took place in junior high, where I went to school in Vancouver, Washington. I got to back up and I got to tell you another story before I can get to this story, so that it ties together and makes sense. All through when I was growing up, since I was about, I don't know, 6 or 7 years old, as soon as school would let out in June, I was like on a plane the next day to go to the Black Hills of South Dakota. And I wouldn't come home again until like the day before school started. I just spent every summer with my grandparents. I absolutely loved it back there, and I loved spending time with them. They owned a cabin court, so I saw a lot of tourists, and I worked at the cabin court, and I used to take the pop bottles that were discarded by the tourists down to the store and get a deposit from them, and that was my spending money all summer. I looked like Ron Howard on the opening to the Andy Griffith Show. You could see me any day of the week just walking down the road with my fishpole over my shoulder. My grandfather was the town cop, and he had many jobs, but his main job was the town cop. But he was also a water and sewer guy. He was also the fire chief. He was also the dog catcher. Basically anything that needed to be done in a small town. They only had a population of about 500. So you kind of knew everybody on a first name basis. And with my grandfather being the cop, he really got to know everybody. And because I was kind of glued to his side all the time, if he went somewhere, I was in the car with him, I got to know everybody. Well, the time came finally for my grandfather to retire, and they got a replacement for him, and his name was, I don't remember, but we're going to call him Joe. Just for the sake of simplicity, we'll just call him Joe. And Joe owned a restaurant in town. It was just nothing special, just a cute little restaurant where the tourists would stop and have lunch. And it was called the Carousel. And it had a picture of a merry-go-round, in the window. And it was just a cute little restaurant. And I knew Joe's last name. And so back to the other part of the story, I'm in junior high, 9th grade. And I'm standing there and I'm fiddling with my locker, and there's this cluster of girls right next to me that's talking. One of them is Jennifer. And Jennifer I had gone to school with since the 2nd grade. We were never friends. We were never enemies. We just, we were just kind of there. We knew each other, but we didn't know each other. If someone asked her, hey, do you know Chris? Yeah, she could point me out, and I knew Jennifer. Yeah, that's her. What about him? What about her? Oh, nice people, blah, blah, nice girl. I don't really know her, though. And so that was the extent of our relationship, just another face in the hallways in passing. And she was standing there with this group of girls. And she goes, yeah, I don't get to see my dad too often, but we talk quite a bit on the phone. He lives in a small town in South Dakota. And bing, Joe's last name was the same as Jennifer's. And so I thought, in the United States, a population of about 250 million, what are the chances that this guy, Joe, is Jennifer's father? The chances are non-existent, but I'll roll the dice and see what happens. So being a 9th grader and kind of a smart-ass 9th grader, I thought, well, let's go for broke and see what this is worth. And I reached out and I grabbed Jennifer's hand. And I go, Jennifer, just bear with me a minute, bear with me. This is weird, I know it is. But I'm getting kind of a vision now. Your father lives in it's a city, but it's not really a city. It's more of a small town, but it's called Hill City. Hill City. It's a small town, and her eyes get big, and she's just staring at me. And I go, something recently happened with your father. Something in his life is changing, and I can see there's something on his shirt. It's shiny. It's a piece of metal. It's got points on it like a star, like a badge. I go, has your father gotten into law enforcement at all? And her eyes just swelled up to the size of doorknobs. And she's, yeah. He just became a deputy sheriff, Pennington County, in Hill City. And I go, wait. I'm starting to see horses. Horses and people. The people look hungry. They're going somewhere to eat where there's horses. The horses, though, aren't real. They're wooden, like on a merry-go-round, but it's not called a merry-go-round. It's called a carousel. She goes, yes, my dad owns the carousel restaurant. What are the chances? What are the farthest remote chances you could possibly imagine that I would nail this? Well, I did. And she can't believe it, man. She's looking at me like I got 3 heads now. And I let go of her hand, and I kind of shake a couple seconds, and I go, wow, what happened? What's going on? She goes, can you tell me any more? I go, tell you any more about what? About my dad? And I go, I don't know your dad. And she goes, well, you were just I go, oh, sometimes I get these flashes, these insights, and they just come into my head. I don't know where they come from. And I usually don't remember them afterwards. But if I told you something that was helpful to you, I hope it was helpful anyway. I hope everything's okay. And she goes, oh, yeah, that was amazing. And by now, people are starting to stop, and the stories are being told, and it's starting to spread like wildflower. And some of the kids at school, they're looking at me like I'm this freak of nature, and other ones, want to come up to me and go, hey, can you tell me about my dead grandmother? Can you tell me about, this, that, or the other thing? And I'm just, hey, I can't do it on command. It just happens, I got no control over it. But I ran into Jennifer. Golly, it's been I don't know, about 5 years now, on Facebook, and it's been about, about a little more than 40 years since that incident happened in high school, about 45 years actually. And I just now got around to telling her the truth just a while ago. And she kind of seemed nonplussed by it, and, but I never told a soul about that. For 45 years, I let the I let the legend grow, and I just let it be. And everybody looked at me like it was a freak show. But anyway, that's our story for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure and subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the bell if you want to keep hearing more of these stories. Thanks for watching. Bye.